Hello and welcome to another episode of Cards Unbarred. My name's Ryan, and in this video I'm going to teach you the 3 to 5 player trick-taking game Best of the Super Slime, designed by Ahari Works. The components in Best of the Super Slime consists of 55 playing cards in 5 suits numbered 3 to 15, with the 8 and 14 specifically removed from each suit, in green, pink, purple, yellow, and blue. And the game also comes with 5 blank cards in all 5 suits, and these can be used by players to create any new numbers or variants that they would want to come up with during gameplay. However, these are only recommended to be used after playing the base game a few times first. When playing Best of the Super Slime, all rules will be the same. The only thing that changes is the deck makeup. When playing with 5 players, you will use all 5 suits. When playing with 4 players, you will use any 4 suits. And when playing with 3 players, you will use any 3 suits. In this video, we'll be setting up for a 4-player game, so we'll use any 4 suits. To set up a game of Best of the Super Slime, first shuffle the main playing card deck and deal 11 cards to all players. Players may look at these cards, but make sure to keep them hidden from all other players. And finally, randomly determine a start player. Best of the Super Slime is a may-follow trick-taking game. That means each player will play a card into the trick, however they can play any card they want. It does not matter what the first player plays into the trick. So let's say the blue player down here will lead the first trick. Looking at their hand, they can play anything they want. And maybe they decide to play this green 7. So coming over to the red player, they are allowed to play any card they want. But as soon as they play a card that's a different suit than what was led, their card will become stronger. So maybe they decide to play that 6 purple. So even though their number is lower than 7, their suit is considered stronger. In Best of the Super Slime, the lead suit is always the weakest suit. Every other player that plays a different suit, they don't rank within each other. It's just simply lead suit and then everything else. So if we head over to the green player, and looking at their hand, they could choose to play one of these green cards if they wanted to be lower than that purple, or they could play any one of these 3 suits and still potentially rank higher. They just have to make sure they play a 6 or higher. Because if the same number is played in a trick, the one that's played later is stronger. So right now that yellow 6 would be winning. So let's say green plays that 6. And then finally the yellow player, looking at their hand, maybe they want to take all the cards, so they decide to play this 10 yellow. So as I mentioned, once all cards are played into the trick, you actually need to see who's winning. Anybody who played a color different than lead suit is stronger than lead suit itself. If all 4 cards were of lead suit, then it's just simply the highest number played. In this case, these 3 cards played a different suit. So the higher value wins, which is the yellow player. They will take all cards played in the trick and put them in a face-down pile in front of them to score at the end of the round. What you're trying to do in Best of the Super Slime is get to exactly 100 points. All the cards that you collect in the trick are worth their face value. So 12, 22, 29 is what the yellow player just received for this trick. So at this point, they're trying to reach 100 and they already have 29 of those points. Now, players are not allowed to look through their stack of cards that they won, so you do have to remember what you've taken as well as what other players took if you want to keep track of that. But again, your goal is to always hit exactly 100 points or be the person who's closest to 100 points without going over. There's going to be different scoring criteria based on where you do rank on that, which I'll go over in scoring, but that's your ultimate goal. So now the winner of that previous trick will lead the next trick, again playing anything they want. So looking at yellow's hand, knowing they've got 29 points, they want to maybe duck this one, so they'll play a nice low yellow 3. Heading to the blue player, they want to try and maybe win this, so they're going to play that purple 13. Coming to red, they only have this yellow 13, which could tie in strength, but because it's yellow, it'll be weaker. So they don't actually have a card that can win right now, but maybe they want to give the blue player a lot of points to try and make them go higher than 100. And then lastly, the green player, Looking at their hand, they actually have quite a few options to win with, and maybe they're okay with getting some high values, so they'll decide to play a 13 pink. And there's two 13s in the trick that are different from the lead suit, so these are both the strongest, later played wins. So green would take all of these cards, put them face down, and lead the next trick. Trick play will continue like this until all 11 tricks have been played. At that point, all players will add up all of their cards together and proceed to scoring. Players add up all the values on the cards that they collected during trick play, and depending on the overall number, they will be ranked on a specific scale. Any player that has gone over 100 points has bust and will only score 1 point. Any player that hit exactly 100 points will be known as the Big Boss, or the Big Best of the Super Slime, and that is worth 6 points. Between all remaining players, the player who got the closest to 100 points without going over will be the boss and will score 4 points. The player that has the lowest value that's under 100 is the Woss and will not score any points. And finally, if there are any other players that meet in between that, so don't have the highest but don't have the lowest, will score 2 points. It is possible for multiple players to be eligible for a certain level. There can be multiple big bosses or multiple people that bust. If that's the case, all players will score the appropriate amount of points. After all players have calculated their score, shuffle and deal again for a total of 3 rounds. Whoever has the most points at the end of 3 rounds wins. Otherwise, that's everything you need to know to play Best of the Super Slime. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below and I'll get to them as soon as I can. Thanks so much for watching.